Do you have low back pain that doesn't seem to get better no matter how much you stretch your hamstrings, how many back massages you get, or how much foam rolling on your back that you do? I'm Julia Blackwell, fascia release practitioner and foam rolling expert. And here's the critical reason why you're only getting minimal or temporary relief. You're stretching and releasing in the wrong areas. It's no secret that the Western medicine model is symptom focused, but it's still easy to take on the story that if a doctor or a PT couldn't help your back, it must be too complicated or you're simply too far gone for anyone to help you. But reality check here, if you or your practitioner has been focusing mostly on or around the site of pain, you're going to completely miss the root cause. The good news is you can start relieving your back pain in just a few minutes by releasing fascia in the right areas. All you're going to need today is a foam roller. I recommend using a smooth, high-density roller if possible, as opposed to one with all of the big bumps on it. Now, fascia, otherwise known as connective tissue, wraps around every single thing in our body, our bones, muscles, nerves, blood vessels, even organs, and it organizes all of that water and material into the shape and structure that you see before you. Think of it like plastic wrap that wraps layer on layer on layer around every single thing in your body. Without it, we would go tumbling to the ground in a pile of bones and goo. Fascia is one uninterrupted, interconnected system that functions as a unit. So when one area of our fascia becomes dense and restricted, like a crumpled up ball of plastic wrap, it can affect our whole body. It can pull bones out of alignment, cause muscle compensations, and of course, create pain. And most likely where you're feeling pain is not the same as where the crumpled up ball of plastic wrap is. So today I'm going to show you how to release 3 key areas that are actually contributing to your pain and, spoiler alert, have nothing to do with your back. Okay, so all you're going to need is a foam roller like this, and we are going to start today with the quads. Quads are the #1 contributor to low back pain. So what I'm going to have you do is come down like you're doing a plank. So both of my quads are on this roller, and most of you are probably familiar with this rolling back and forth motion, but what I want instead is for you to roll for maybe a few seconds to find a spot that feels intense. And all that means is that the fascia is likely more dense and restricted if it's feeling intense. Just make sure it's not crazy intense, something above like an 8 out of 10 on that scale. So once you have a spot, you're going to just hold that spot on the quads. We're going to flex the toes, and super slow, you're going to bend back like you're doing a hamstring curl. So just nice and easy, all the way back, and then slowly coming down. If we really want to change our fascia, we need to do a combination of compression, cross-fibering, and active movement. And that's what we're doing right here. So we are compressing one area of the quads, and we are actively moving forward and back. Now I'm going to have you pull back one more time to that 90-degree angle. And then now I'm going to have you rock your heels from side to side. And this is where the cross-fibering comes in. We're still doing active release, of course, but you may even feel a little muscle clunk side to side. That is completely normal. And in fact, we want that if possible. That's how we know we're getting a good cross-fiber across the quad, both in the muscle fibers, but more importantly, in the fascial fibers. Nice and easy, going side to side. Let's go one more time each way. I like to go back and forth about 8-10 times. And then you're going to center it out and slowly straighten your legs back out. And then you can come off that spot. If you like, you could just walk around your room real fast, see if you can tell a difference in your back. You're also welcome to do 1 or 2 more spots in a slightly different place than you just were. Now, next, I'm going to show you how to roll the IT bands. I say roll, but really it's release fascia in the IT bands. there's no lengthening of the IT band that's possible. It's mostly fascia. It has very little give to it, and it helps our hips feel stable. So we actually do not want to roll up and down on the IT band, as it could send a signal to our brain that the hips don't have as much stability as they should. So instead, that's why we really want to focus on cross-fibering in this active movement way, because that's going to get us a better result and is a huge contributor to low back pain as well. So pick a side, and we're going to come down like you're in a side plank, and we want to make sure that you are below the pelvis bone. So we need to be somewhere below the pelvis, otherwise we're in the hip. That's a completely different area of muscle and fascia. So if you need to roll to find a good spot, you can. Most people get on this spot and are like, huh, any spot's a good spot. But once you're on, if it's really intense, you can drop your top foot over to take a little bit of weight off of the back foot here. If it's still at like an 8 or something out of 10 on the intensity scale, you can also wrap your roller in a yoga mat. This is certainly not a no pain, no gain situation. We want to work on an area that's intense without it being so intense that our nervous system starts to freak out. But once you've got a good position here, we're going to flex the toes of the bottom leg, make sure your foot is off the ground, and then we're going to slowly bend back like you're doing a hamstring curl. So bending back and forward, a little similar to what we were just doing with the quad, and back and forward. Let's go one more time back. Usually do about 2 or 3 of these, and then I go rocking the heel straight up towards the ceiling and down towards the floor. So here's where we get some good cross-fibering action in again, as well as getting the active release that we desperately need to create positive change in our fascia. So keep breathing, make sure you can breathe in nice and deep. We'll go one more time up and down. And then same thing, come off that spot. If you want to walk it out, see how everything feels, you can. I'd recommend doing 2 spots on that IT band and seeing what 2 spots feel like on the other IT band. Please make sure you're not moving on that spot for more than about 60 seconds right now. We don't want to overdo it. I know it can be really exciting when you feel a little bit of relief in your low back. You might say, oh, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes and I bet I'd get even better of a result. There are diminishing returns. So try 2 spots on each IT band for about 60 seconds and move on. Lastly, our third spot of the day is the adductor, which is the inner thigh here. So what you're going to do is put your foam roller parallel to your body, and I'm going to come down again like I'm in a plank. Obviously my wall is in the way. You can just put the left side totally down, flat. And then I'm going to put my right knee up on the roller, and I'm about 5 inches away from the actual knee joint. That is important. There's no reason to be super close to the knee. We really want to be, I honestly could be a little higher. We want to be somewhere in the mid adductor for this. Now here, I'm going to lean some weight in, flex my toe, and then super slow, I'm going to straighten out from the knee here. Straighten out, and then slowly bend back. The adductors get very tight when you spend a lot of time in a sitting position, and tension here can create more of a pelvic tilt even than your hamstrings or your quads. So such an important place to release. This fascia in the adductor also goes directly up through the spine. So creating some space and hydration here can reduce tension in the hips and of course the low back. So one more time out, and then I'm going to come back to that 90-degree angle. And then here we're going to go back to that tressy up and down motion with the heel. So lead with the heel up and down. You may also get a little muscle clunk here as you go back and forth. That's totally normal. Coming up, do the best range of motion that you can, and remember to move slowly. And we'll do just one more time up and down, and then you can come off of that spot. Again, I would do 2 spots on the right adductor, give it a go on the left doing 2 spots, and then walk around and see the difference that it makes for your back. If you want more follow-along help to continue relieving your low back pain in as little as 3 days, click the link below for a 3-day video series. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and let me know how your low back feels in the comments after just doing these 3 areas.